Okay, this series is on the gospel readings for ordinary time and the sea cycle, and today's gospel is the second of three vineyard parables. The vineyard is a powerful image that Jesus used that would have been familiar to the people of his time and place. A vineyard takes a lot of work. Those of you like me who have unsuccessfully tried to raise grapes, you'll find that out. But today's gospel reading talks about the two sons. Now remember that in the Christian perspective, God has sons through the covenant of Abraham, and he has sons through the covenant of Jesus. And this gospel, which is written after the fact, when others have come into the church from both the diaspora of the Jews, but even more significantly from the Greek-speaking and other language-speaking Gentiles who had converted to Christianity, either via Judaism or directly. So, he talks about the two sons being asked to go out and work in the vineyard. The vineyard, of course, being a rich image of the church. And one says, I will not. But then he has second thoughts. In other words, he has not frozen himself into a position that blocks faith from blooming in his heart. The second one says, oh, okay, Dad, I will, no problem, But he has no real intention. He is like that seed of the other parable that falls on rocky, hard ground and dies right away. He does not intend to bring that fruit to full bloom, to full maturity. It's the son who says initially no, comes to the Father, comes into the vineyard to work. What is Jesus saying? He's saying that at the very end, God honors our final decision. Again, it's tied to the first parable that we talked about in the last episode, that time in God's hands is a very relative quality, so that those who come into the vineyard at the very last moment are given equal charity and love from the Father. But we must be careful. We must be careful that when the Father calls us, we honestly consider and let our yes be yes, and let our no be no. God can deal even with the no's, but with those who equivocate, those who fool themselves into thinking that they have said yes to God, you even place God himself in a quandary there. Well, God, above all, is a respecter of our free wills. He will not meddle. He will not tamper. If we have decided to play a two-faced game, to straddle the fence, he will say, you think you can do this, but you really can't. And in the end, we will, by default, fall off on the other side of the fence away from Christ. For it is within our nature to do that because of the fall of our ancestors, the fall of Adam and Eve. To say yes to God, let it be a real yes. If in your hardness of heart you say no, at least God has something to work with. Many and many times it happened in my life that I have said no and then thought better of it and said yes. Let it be so with you. Say yes to Christ. Say yes to the work in the vineyard. Let your yes be yes and your no, if you are so inclined, no. But remember, God will pursue us regardless. Amen.